We are in the Church of Unitology. No one had any doubts that Unitology is Scientology, right?
No.
I mean,
Where Altman even looks like L. Ron Hubbard.
It's they made it a little. I mean, it's pretty. I don't know. I don't understand how anyone can be into Unitology, right?
The kind of
it's kind of super absurd.
As you walk in, there's an iron grate directly opposite the main entrance, and there are bodies there. And I remember thinking to myself, I should probably do something about those. I'll deal with it when I come back. And then I went into the room to the left that has the reading room and the bench and the gift shop and all that shit. Then I came back in, and the bodies were gone. And I remember thinking, God damn it. I should have done something about those.
So, yeah, you kind of make your way through a library area. There's a few infectors and some combat there.
So this is where you first meet the priest Necromorphs.
Oh, right, yeah.
Which are kind of especially creepy because they've got the whole unitologist universal greeting thing going on.
I mean, they're pretty much necromorphs, but they're fast, right? That's their whole shtick. They run.
Well, they're just bigger and do more damage.
Yeah, basically. And they're like more twitchy too, I think.
Right, they'll do that little crouching, like huddled walk to dodge more often, which is really weird and creepy.
We sort of talked about some things out of order last week, like the indoctrination room, and which is where you
see the Unitology video playing.
And you pull the battery pack out, and it's the first time you see one of the tinier little batteries, the fuses, and you replace it in the door, and it's a decompression room where there's a bit of combat. Then you walk into a room that has like a Nicole moment, where there's a bunch of flashy screens and she says some stuff about, making us whole again and all this.
Something we haven't really touched on that I kind of like about this level is just how effective it is as a church.
Yeah, that's true.
Like just the stained glass and the lighting and how it's all very dark and somber. Again, it's continuing this idea that you were going through a place.
Right.
Eventually you come upon the first Stalker Battle, which is in a giant sort of
repository room,
circular
with
room.
grates.
If you decide to run around and
I guess maybe
sort of play dumb, then it feels really goddamn scary.
I guess they thought maybe that's how most people would do it. But I've learned from Dead Space, like the first thing you do is enemies, run to a corner, put your back into it, and start managing them. They do feel like you're fighting animals.
Every time you get up close, I mean, it's clear that they...
Well, they are, but I'm saying that with their mannerisms and stuff, the way they peek, the way they jump up over and over stuff, it's like this should have been what Turok Dinosaur Hunter was like, fighting crazy things like this.
And they make the most awful sound.
Yeah, man, I don't fuck
And
with
I like how the stalkers can also climb up on top of things and go over them.
Yeah.
Right.
They did a great job with making him feel very animal-like.
Yeah.
And unpredictable in that regard. After you get through the Basilica and you have to go to the is it the Resurrection Room or the reunion room, I think?
Where the dead person is?
Yeah.
Right, so the chapel is the reunion room.
Right.
And I think that's the first time you see a body explode into little things.
Yes, that's true.
Oh, is it? Oh.
Oh, no, it's not, because in the apartments you see bodies explode.
Oh, you're right. Well, it's the first time in the church you've seen it. First time in a while you've seen it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you go down into the ice morgue, and like at first it seems they kind of lull you into a false sense of security.
Yeah, because like the first two rooms, they just let you roll through.
Yeah, they just let you roll through. You don't get attacked or anything, and then all of a sudden, like here come the Necromorphs.
The first room is bad. The second room has right at the beginning a Nicole moment. Or a marker moment where you go into your brain and see all the things come alive, and like freak out at you. That's the very beginning of the second room,
and this is,
but there's no combat until like the fourth room.
So you go through the casket rooms, of which, and there are fights to be had. Yep. Although you don't actually have to have all the fights that are here if you.
No, you can actually just keep moving if you want to.
Previously played Dead Space, for example, and know which corridors that puker is going to come down. You don't have to walk through it.
Right, it's true.
But you'll always get ambushed toward the end.
Yeah.
So then you go into the gravity control room.
Yep.
Yeah.
To try to get through the casket delivery system.
Which was super cool.
Beautiful room. Not that awesome a puzzle. I mean, I think it's pretty straightforward.
Well, yeah, it's not really a puzzle. It's just you fly up.
Yeah, but I love the whole look of it.
Puzzle.
Bringing the gravity tethers in place.
Yeah, bringing the arms down. I just thought that it was a puzzle, but it felt like my suspension of disbelief was never broken. Like it seemed like an engineering problem. Like, okay, well, I need to slow this down to bring these arms down and hold it in place.
The thing is, you can do it without using stasis.
And I also got a hardcore Event Horizon vibe from this room.
Oh yeah, I think that was intentional.
Like the gravity generators in this
Is spiked.
Yeah.
It's spiked wheels.
No, I really, I just loved the whole look of this room. Like, the lighting is really cool, the way it comes down through the upper room where the caskets are coming in the beginning, you know?
It almost looks like you're not supposed to fly up it.
And after this is where you go to the temple.
Yes.
Oh, right, okay.
So the temple is where you're attacked by that big giant monster with the baby
With the baby tongue.
sickle.
I never noticed it had a baby tongue until the
does.
second time.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
the
yeah,
yellow
that's right.
That thing-
shooting is its baby tongue.
Can you kill that thing before it drags you back to the altar? Is it possible?
I don't
I
think
got
so.
the impression that was all part of the
know.
show.
It's part of the
Mother fucker,
But
that
if you-
thing dropped me of a lot of plasma shots.
I was gonna say, but if you don't shoot it enough, it will
Oh, you
kill
do.
you.
Yeah, you do
Yeah.
have to keep firing at it.
Do you?
Oh yeah.
Will it kill you if you
Oh
don't?
yes.
God damn that thing.
Yeah.
It took so many shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll let you go if you do it early enough. It's actually easier for you. The pack comes from right there and
Right.
from behind. So if you shoot it early enough, you're a little farther back, closer to where you started, and it makes it easier to set up your attacks for the pack. But you gotta hit all those shots. In this room, you know how at the top, after you've killed the pack and you've kind of walked up the stairs back around.
Oh, and you get attacked by fucking pukers and more monks.
After that, there's like a little center balcony where you can look back on the arena that you just fought in.
Yeah.
There's a health pack sitting right there, and when you go up and grab the health pack, a guy comes up from over the edge of the balcony. there
Oh,
and
yeah,
attacks you.
Really?
Like
that totally
right?
happened to me.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
If you have the javelin gun there's on the other side of the wall, so you're looking again now all the way across back to the original side of the temple, there's like a little circle that's on the wall there as part of the art. I mean, it blends right in. You would never notice it. But apparently, if you line a javelin shot up just right on that guy when he comes up, you can stick him into the circle on the other side of the wall, and that might be an achievement.
What the fuck? So after getting through the chapel, riding an elevator up, you get attacked again, blah, blah, blah. So this is where you finally meet Dana, and you realize that Dana's been playing you, that she's a unitologist. I almost said Scientologist, and I stopped myself. And revealing that it's their plan to take you away to keep Tideman from getting you, to use you to build their own markers.
Right.
Which
She
is,
reveals that you built the marker, which
Right.
is a big
Yeah.
piece of
which
information.
is, yeah.
After all, you did build it.
This scene was pretty gnarly, too, after the gunship comes
Right,
in.
so first the betrayal.
Jesus.
Which is intense, because you just spent 5 chapters being led around by the fucking nose by this chick.
Yeah.
And then they just kill her without notice.
Yeah, and then the gunship comes up and blows a hole in the thing, and then just blows her to pieces.
Yeah. And
Which
like,
was awesome.
right. Like, while it was happening, I was like, oh, Isaac's going to get shot a couple times, but he just miraculously
Maybe he
escapes
did. Maybe he
unscathed.
forgot in the heat of the moment.
We don't have to all
So
be dead
there's
space
an
apologists.
aliens moment where he's about to get sucked out, and
Yeah.
you're mashing the A button, which is making him pull the thing to close the gap.
He opens a hatch, he goes
Yeah,
down,
he
falls
falls
down
down the
through this
hatch.
thing,
And he
and
falls into, it's like a waste treatment or something.
yeah, sure enough, his buddy, the giant creature with the baby tongue and the glowy arm knee things,
Gets trapped in wreckage with you and is trying to kill you. You have to shoot the orange spots. Go figure.
right. So if you have the flamethrower during this part, just turn that baby on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
even have to aim.
every sequence, you really don't have to.
Whenever you're in those standard, like the stuck in one place sequences, though, it takes so long to switch weapons.
That's true, but once you switch to the flamethrower, you can just keep it on, and it goes.
So you have to hit him.
so
I
fast.
mean, I just hit him with stasis and then ran as fast as I could.
Yeah, you don't actually need to use stasis. You can just run. You kinesis
Yeah.
open the one door and run, and it's really simple. But yeah, you can stasis him also. with
You
forearm.
get the gunship shows up again, blows a hole in the window. You both get sucked out.
I love that. I love that. The
whole
sound in that part.
Yeah.
How there's none almost. There's just
Well,
like
you
the
just
dull
hear the
thuds of
dee,
explosions.
dee. You hear like an internal beep on your suit or something like that, and then there's him slamming against the ship and like trying to grab on, and then the dull thud of the
Yeah, I mean, there's still a little
of
bit-
the beast of the creature hitting it as well, and like little screams.
The whole sequence is just so cool because like the way that
It is
the
awesome.
camera shakes and like
And you're not playing,
almost gets
but it
blown
almost
out into
feels like you
space,
are.
You know? And you're not playing, but it feels like you are.
It's kind of unfortunate that he gets blasted back into apartments again. You're like,
Right.
The same apartments you just
I was
left.
really disappointed with that, actually. I was like, really?
At
Aww.
this point, like, your only hope is to try to find Strauss, I guess, because Strauss seems to have some idea of what's happening more
Strauss
than you do.
implies,
Strauss
implies that
messages you,
that you
Starts
you've made
talking
it
about
and
the
you could
steps.
destroy it.
yeah.
This is
only you
so.
can
This is
destroy
where he
it.
starts talking about the steps.
Yeah, and almost immediately, right when you land back in the apartment, Isaac says, "I don't know what I'm going to do. We got to destroy it." And he says,
in
"The
the
marker,
government
where is
sector."
it? The government sector."
It's in the government sector. But we have to move now. Now. Because time is running out for me and for us.
Strauss, where you going? Shit.
So you have to make your way back through these goddamn apartments, of which there are necromorphs that you did not take care of previously.
Because the apartments look the same, but you're not
in a
the
different
same
part,
of the
actually.
apartments.
Right. So, but you have to make your way back to a part of the apartments you were at.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here. There's I think the first really hard battle is in this section when you finally come back to the sort of courtyard between the
It
areas.
has the big fake marker in it.
yeah, the one with the big fake marker.
And you get another fight here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so the fight here is the one I would call this the first real leaper battle.
I actually ended up getting cornered behind the marker statue in that little curvature area. And so I constantly had things at my back. Every time I turned around, there was something attacking me from behind. It was so crazy.
So that battle is hard and memorable, and I'm sure after you fought your way through it, you were glad that you
it was
completed
over.
it,
Yeah.
and that you felt like a real
I do remember
hardcore
that
Dead
being
Space
a very
player.
hard battle. Yeah.
Right.
So this is where we first run into the cysts?
Yes, that's exactly what happens.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because you have to go through the cyst-filled hallway and then you go back to the school, which is open now. What's your cyst strategy?
So there are lots. I like to use any environmental objects that are in the room.
Human
and-
bodies, whatever.
and
Right,
throw
which is
stuff at
cool
them.
that you can do that.
You don't even have to do that.
I do a combination of both.
It falls
depending
slow
upon
enough. You can walk up close enough to them to let them fire and just hit back as soon as it comes.
Although
up.
you are
true.
taking your life into your hands.
So-
Just a few rounds from the pulse rifle takes them out too, though.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then before you get to daycare, there is another puzzle.
That was the anti-gravity room.
So that's an
Right.
anti-grav room, and then you put out the fire,
and you
then
pull a battery with you.
You have to pull a battery, and you have to keep there's a couple of the, what do they call them? Lurkers, the ones with the 3 tentacles.
Yeah.
Which
Right.
call 'em-
Right.
I used to just call them babies back in the old game, but
Now
I
there are too many
Yeah, now
babies.
there are too many babies. That doesn't work.
The next Stalker
I was-
section. Right.
Okay, yeah. There's a...
Which is where I realized that the Stalkers will not go past a certain point. They won't
they will
chase
not
you
leave the
beyond-
room.
Yeah, they won't leave their area.
Those little fuckers. They kept making me come forward. I hate having to pull aggro on Stalkers. I kind of like that this is a food storage area, and if you hit a container, like, you see food kind of spill out. Which is totally
I never noticed that,
pointless, but whatever. So once you go through the storage area, you go back to the shopping concourse,
Right.
which is where you meet Ellie.
Yes.
And this part,
And
when you
Ellie
see
is going full-on Sigourney Weaver.
When you come upon actual people in the game, it feels sort of like
Whoa, what the hell?
hyper realistic and really strange and weird. This is the moment I was thinking of.
She's a cop, right? She's
No, she's a pilot.
She's a pilot, CEC.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought.
Which I kind of wonder if that's another Ripley reference.
She says, "Whatever you do, don't follow me." And of course, the first thing you do is go the exact way she's going. So yeah, another room with cysts, and this should be leading up to the school then.
Well, yeah, there's another hallway with cysts, and that leads to the daycare. And this is the area that you came through originally, the first place you were ever attacked by the pack.
Right. With this toy store and
Yeah.
stuff.
So
And there are a lot of fucking necromorphs that drop in this area.
there are.
You get attacked by a lot of
I think
shit.
this
it's not
is-
that long of a hallway, but they make you fight for every inch of it.
This is one of my least favorite monster closets in the game. So when you make your way all the way down to where the door is before the school, there's one up on the top right side of that hallway, and as soon as you start to look up and start firing at it, and
It
there's
spawns like a spitter
it spawns
behind
two,
you.
two spitters, a puker and a spitter at
Yeah.
you. And you have to go take them
Right
down.
behind you as you're walking.
Yeah, and if you go look at where they came from, they didn't come from anywhere.
So the first time you see one of these babies, that's just one of the moments the game does so well, where it sets the tone for him, how fucked up it is.
Before you even see the baby, when you walk in the daycare, you know that you're going to see some really horrible shit.
Well, I figured I would see a bunch more of the pack, is what I figured. But I was thinking it'd be pack,
There's
not
still
babies.
there's a
Well,
know?
I don't even think
these are like
the babies
newborns,
are
babies.
toddlers. These are like infants.
Infants.
yeah.
Yeah.
newborns.
I mean, at least that's what it looked like when one of them blew up and I kinesised its fucking head to me.
Yeah.
They look like dolls.
I think we should stop and talk about how well designed the school is. So much good art on the posters and the walls. They really make it feel like an actual school that children have just recently been using.
There's a Nicole moment where you walk in and see a merry-go-round and it's spinning, and then when you look, she's like hitting it with her hand, and that's why it's turning.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
In the classrooms, in the second one, the ones where the babies actually come at you for the first time, there's in 3 waves, and after you kill the 3rd wave, and then a final one that drops down.
You know this too well.
I know. In the back corner, there's a chair there's a somewhat like a dead body, but then there's a chair that says "time out."
Oh, that's hilarious. You know, if this place just had its real lights on, as opposed to like emergency lighting or whatever,
right?
It's like this almost seems like it could be a cheery environment.
Yeah,
you know, just maybe.
Leave no corpse unturned.
I kill infectors so quickly.
You're reminded of when you go into the fucking basketball court.
It's I think of it more as the cafeteria and stage, but
right, until you hit the switch and it like turns all the cafeteria things upside down and flattens the playing area. You walk over the stage, you get hit by a sun.
The sun comes down and smacks you in the face.
I mean, not only do you know that shit's getting real because you're walking into a corner, but also it's got the stasis bombs.
Yeah, exactly. There's a stasis bomb sitting right there.
Fuck if I know what those are doing on the set of a children's production. But
special effects, dude.
I guess.
I'm surprised there wasn't an exploding barrel up there.
This part with the plasma pistol and the pulse rifle, hectic as hell, because you have the pack rushing up and behind them there's a wave of babies.
I think that's why this room is easy, is because you launch the attack from a choke point. You are in the most defensible position.
So after this, you go to the transport hub.
So this battle with this brute. I had a contact beam here on my second playthrough. It's one shot.
Okay, well, let's not talk about your second playthrough. You aren't supposed to go after the arms.
You cut the arms off.
Well, you can, but its main weakness is the back of its legs. The whole point is that they turn off oxygen. Tideman turns off life support.
Yeah.
Right.
And so you need to go to the solar array that's decommissioned to activate it.
Mothball, did they say?
I think this is the first Zero Grav section you encounter that has the little rocket boosters attached to objects that you shoot to move them around.
That's true, yes.
So you move those around, activate the elevator, get in the elevator, it's going up, which is a fucking crazy view of the space station.
Oh, that's one where if you're playing on, no matter where you're playing on, it looks amazing. If you're playing on PC, you really do get to appreciate like way into the distance. All the buildings look perfect.
And this is also when you get attacked by nonstop brutes.
Yes.
Mother.
But that's what the force gun is for.
I was going to say,
you gotta have a force gun. For me,
you're not supposed to have the force gun.
Like at this point, I think I had like 90 plasma cutter shots.
Yeah.
So I was just like, bang, 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 ow, bang, 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 ow.
Pulse rifle is great for this part.
And this is one of the few parts where I was using stasis quite a bit.
Also flamethrower good in this part.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
You are in the nest, whatever it is. This is like the solar array control area with Watchman Howard Phillips.
Greetings, Station Watchman Howard Phillips.
You can blow up the lasers, which can fuck you up if you're not careful. The next room is...
There's physical objects in the room. I always just throw them
and you can
through,
pull them out, but you can also throw the body through without any problems.
And I actually wasn't expecting necromorphs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, I'm on the solar.
Do I have news for you?
I was like, how did they get up here?
Getting to the interesting parts of this section, the mainframe room.
That's skipping like the whole...
No, it's not, because you'd skip the fight, which is another fight, and then you ride up an elevator, and that's another
good decompression
fight.
Battle. Right.
I see.
True.
It could be. That decompression battle definitely killed me at least once. So the mainframe room, which is...
beautiful.
Yeah.
Really
Man, this is
cool
like one of the places where they're really just like, man, the kind of rendering type we have is really good at a light. So let's just do like a whole hallway full of fucking Christmas light shit. So they shut off the mainframe access. You have to set it up, and it's basically like 2001 gone straight through Event Horizon. This is also where the Pang treasure is.
It is.
Yep.
So after you do the leftmost room of the mainframe and you turn the machine back on, just to the left of the vent, once you've turned on deactivated the second part of the mainframe, there's a set of lights that show you how
there's a new
fuse order, a new diagram that appears.
I never noticed that.
I noticed it the first time, but it just looks like this. I thought it was a repeat of the one that was on the floor.
That's what I thought
on
too.
the other side.
Yeah.
You never think like, oh, this is a different one. I should.
Which is too bad, because if you activate the fuses the right way, it opens up a new way to turn the tunnel, which goes into a room behind those others that has at least 2 power nodes.
It's 2 power nodes, the Peng statue, a
ruby
couple semiconductors. It's like the most profitable room in the entire game.
What is a Peng statue?
It's a trophy. So you bring up the solar control panels. There's constant necromorph attacks as you come out of these rooms.
Yeah.
You shoot them out. It kills Auntie, which is a very triumphant moment. that bitch finally is just dead.
Yep. I love how she does like the super classic computer shutting. Yeah.
No. This is another elevator sequence. You go up another elevator to the top of the solar panel.
As if you weren't high enough up already.
Right. God. So this is a section where you go outside to realign the solar panels.
It's really like, I love the fact that they give you this giant open area to anti-grav around in.
Right. And I mean,
with air everywhere.
Exactly. You have a limited air supply, but there's nothing ever stopping you from exploring, because there's so many air recharge stations. So you realign the solar arrays, and as this is happening, Ellie is telling you that shit is going really wrong.
She just barely gets it turned on. The collector turned on too on the other side.
Right.
You very nearly burnt a giant hole in this wall.
That's true. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So as that happens, they get chased off, and Ellie says that we have to get back to the transport area. There's no way that you're going to make it, which is true, because the fucking elevator ride took forever, and so did traipsing through the nest. So Isaac's brilliant idea is to go back into the main solar control room and use the
I like that it doesn't even tell you that that's what he's going to do. It's just like, well, that thing's glowing.
Yeah.
So you ride the ejector seat out of the station and through a bunch of debris from the damage you just wreaked on the sprawl.
Badass.
Well, you only ride the ejector seat for a little bit.
Right.
And then you're like, I'm out.
Yep.
Right.
It just shoots you out, and then you're...
Man, I wish I would have seen that there was a hole for me to go through instead of colliding with a goddamn wall again.
The first time I forgot to use my boosters. I was just going around, like moving all slow, and then I was like, oh, okay, this makes sense here.
That's what I'm saying. How does he survive the end of that? He lands like Iron Man.
He uses his jet boots.
Yes, and slams in the ground.
You get dumped back into the sprawl. Ellie is begging you to get to the transport hub. That shit is really hitting the fan. And you're rushing to get there, but with time to stop at a store first.
Yep.
So this is where you go into the transport hub. Life support is turned off, and Ellie is trying to open a door for you. And this is where you get to survive for about 90 seconds of nonstop necromorph madness.
Man, that part is hard.
Unless you have the Ripper, in which case... You're just
I meant the first time through. I got a Zealot force gun maxed out.
You are the fucking Jay-Z of engineers in the CEC brushing your shoulders off. I'm telling you.
Yeah. And then you go into the CEC facility, the door closes, and then we're done.
You're in an elevator, I think.
Is this the one where there's an Ellie cutscene again? Where she's
freaking out because she went in a circle,
Exactly. She's all, shit. Isaac, just...
I love Ellie.
Yeah, she's a good character.
Shit, Isaac. Shit.